kind of hard to know where to start about Craig. So I'm going to start just by welcoming everybody here, maybe on behalf of each other. Craig's friends, welcome. Craig's family, my heart goes out to you like everybody's does. And Melinda, who is accurately described in the program as Craig's beloved soulmate. I don't see how anything could be further from the truth. And the last couple of weeks, when I've been thinking about Craig, which like probably most of you has been a pretty good bit, there's two things that have struck me. One is when I saw these pictures of Craig from the 80s, it's not where I was going, but that's okay, is how long we'd known each other. I just was telling somebody a minute ago that at first I thought we'd only known each other 15 or 20 years. And then when I saw the pictures, I realized that he and I had been rubbing elbows with each other since, well, I moved here in '81 and he was already here, so I think that we probably saw shows together for a long time and sort of gradually became intertwined with one another. The other thing, of course, is just what Craig had meant to his various families, his biological family, his 40-watt family, his DBT family, and all the other families that Craig was a part of. And obviously so many people in here who had a personal connection with Craig. He's he's one of those people that managed to have a great impact. It seemed like he's part of everybody's family in his own way, even though was not the loudest guy or somebody that went out of his way to be splashy or make his presence known. He didn't have to, because of just who he was and what he was. The other thing that I've thought about quite a bit with Craig in the past couple of weeks is earlier this month, we were at a show, and we were standing right over there, and I was recording the show, and I think it was the Dead Confederate show, which may be about 10th or 11th of January, so just a few weeks ago. And he and Melinda came over, and we talked for a minute, and I looked at Craig, and I had the thought that he is happier than I've ever seen him in all the time that I've known him, which is something that we should all aspire to. And I found, I can tell you how smart he was and a bunch of funny things he said, and but you already know that. Another thing I thought about with Craig is that when he first started doing merch for the truckers, there was about 3 years ago, I went out and played some shows opening for the band, and so when I'd get done, I'd go watch a show, and when I go watch a show like that, I'm going to watch from a few different places. I'm going to watch a little from the side and go out and hang out with Matt out front and watch them there and get in the crowd and just see from all perspectives. But when it would really get fever pitch up towards the stage, I'd find myself lots of times making my way to the back to find Craig at the merch table and would just say something simple to him, just to elicit a response, which I knew would be great. What's the word? How is it at the merch? How's the merch tonight? And I'm not really asking how many T-shirts he sold, but I knew that I'd get some philosophical, emotional connection, which I value greatly. I loved him, still do. Can't say enough great things about him. And one thing that, other than just who he was and what kind of guy he was, as I'm sure many other people can relate to, is that he was the kind of person that seemed like he knew what I was up to, he was aware of what I was into, that when you had a conversation with Craig, it would seem like he's never somebody that the conversation's all about Craig, that he was interesting, and part of that was because he was interested, and he was interested in each and every one of you. And to all Craig's friends, when I look out here, this is sort of like looking out at the stage from one of Craig's shows, that everybody's in their spot. which I noticed as a lot of you are walking in, that it's like, yeah, I'm used to seeing him over there, and she usually stands about there. I mean, there's spots that in the place that you like. And Craig's, dear loved ones right down front where you ought to be close to his spirit, which, as I think about this, I was thinking at first that, Craig's not with us today, but he is. Because all the love for Craig and for each other in this room is pretty apparent that he's here with us, and that's why we're all here. So we're going to hear some music, and we're going to hear a few of Craig's close friends say a few words. And thank you all for coming, which I probably don't need to say, but I know this means a lot to the family and to all of us. I know it does to me.